Welcome back to the Atari ST Nostalgia GFA Basic tour. Now, in the previous video we explored some printing stuff on screen using the print_add command. In this video we will explore another way of providing commands with data input for the variables we want them to process. We have done this in different ways in the previous series. So just a really quick recap. If we have this code, this basically is really simple. What it does, I will do this 3 times, which means at this position, using the print_add command, I will print x as my variable. Now, the simplest way to use a variable is just to use it, but then the value will always be 0. So yeah, that's not very useful to us. The second way we explored is actually giving x a specific value, but doing it hard-coded. Which also didn't turn out to be very useful to us, but as you can see, it still works, so that's nice. Of course, you can make the variable dependent on another variable, so in this case x will be 10 times I, and in that case it will print, as you can see, 10, 20, 30. So that was the way. And another way to have the code generate some value for x for us, if it's a number, I can just say, okay, x is let's say I want it to be something between 1 and 100, so I will say 1 plus random 100. And so it will pick a number between 1 and 100, and it will do it 3 times and print it on the screen, which is also an option we explored in some previous videos, and we heavily used for drawing random dots and boxes on the screen. And of course, the last way of providing input is actually getting input from the user. For instance, in this way, and I have to remove this part. We can just keep asking for a number. So I say 54, it will print 54, 98, it will print 98, and my next number will be 12, and it's 12. Yeah, which is also nice. But suppose I wanted actually, I want to use some variables to put in my print command, and it actually has to be text. But I want to pick it from a data set. That's actually the option that we are going to explore this time. So because in GFA Basic you can create a data set by using the data command, and let's just say item 1 and item 2. And I will also put another command saying item 3. Now I've now created a data set, and I can put commands to actually read that data set. And so I will just, instead of using this input command, I can just say read text string. And so what I've told the code now is just read from the data set. Read from the data set, so the set that starts with data, get the first item out of this set and put it in a variable text string. And in this case I'm using string variables because this is also a string. And then you have to print that value of text string, and it will do it 3 times. So let's see what happens. Now, as you can see, it's printing item 1, item 2 and item 3. So it reads one item from the data set, and that one then can no longer be used. So the next time I read this data set, it will actually read the next one, and it will read them all in order. And the nice thing is I can actually put extra lines in it, like item, and then let's just say data 4, data 5, and data 6, which is also pretty cool. And I can now say, okay, let's do this 6 times, and let's see what happens. So if I run now, you can see it reads the first 3 items, and it just continues at the next line. So I don't have to put everything in one data line, which is nice. But suppose I want to use these multiple times, and for instance, if I do this next I, and but then for j equals 1, 2, 3, and I will say read string 1 to string 3. I should really stop making so many typos. And I shouldn't even do, I don't even need this one. I just want to do it in one go, which I don't need the for next statement to read them in sequence. Now I've just said, okay, I want you to read 3 variables, string 1, string 2, and string 3, and I want you to read them from the data, and then I want you to print them. So string 1, string 2, string 3. Now this is quite interesting. I will also, because it will actually just put the string one after the other. I'm not sure. No, I used commas, so it will actually put them further apart. So will this work? I am really curious. Let's see if it does. So now it will read item 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. This works. And now I get an error message. It says it's out of data. And the reason that it happens is because in this for next statement, I already read 6 times. So after this loop, this finite loop is actually ready, there's no more data to read, and it will not automatically start at 1. So if I want to read and more strings from this data, what I first have to do is actually restore. Just sort of open the data up for reading again, and I can use the restore command. So I've put that here, which means all this data is now free to read again. And I will also make this pause a little bit shorter because it's annoying me a bit. And let's just all say, so let's put it a bit closer together. It's nicer. So yeah, it will just put it there. And okay. Let's make the print command a little bit nicer. I will just put some spaces at the end of each string here. Sorry, this is just my OCD. And I will use semicolon, so it's actually the same everywhere. So when I run it again, as you can see, it first prints the 6 items. And then the other program actually also puts all 3 items on screen. In this case, item 1, 2, and 3. And I think I should make it a bit more fancy to say you should start at 20 and end at line 4 times I is 6. What? 20. I think this is a bit more fancy. Does this look better? Yeah, it's a bit low. Let's just make it 16. I know I'm screwing around a bit, but let's just. It doesn't really matter where the data goes. The purpose is to show actually this is not very good. Let's just keep it at 20, so it's not blocked by this text box. So now it does. It's basically prints all 6 items, and then it prints the first 3 again. But actually, I want this command to print only the last 3, and I wanted to skip this one. You could do it by actually splitting your data set. For instance, I will name this one set 2, and I can name this one set 1. And now I can specifically tell this one to restore only set 2. So these ones will still remain unavailable. So if you read data, you have to start here. Which is also, I mean, it's not very sophisticated, but it's a way of putting data there. And that's actually, as you can see, now it's reading item 3 to 6. And then in the end, you can see it only read 3, 4, and 5. Sorry, 4, 5, and 6, because the first data set is still not opened for reading yet. And it will also not be open for reading if I, for instance, if this is ready, I will do avoid string 2, and then here I will put a clear screen because I will put a start label at the beginning. and I will put a go to code start. So now it will ask me for a key press, and it will just repeat itself again. And as you can see, this is working as expected, and it's putting 4, 5, and 6. But if I go to code start here, because I don't rerun the program, the data is still blocked. So in the code start, actually, after I clear the screen and before I read the data, I also have to put a restore command here. And I can put restore set 1. It's not entirely necessary, because actually if I restore set 1, it will automatically also restore set 2, so it will restore everything starting from here. And as you can see, when I run it now, 6, and it will do the 6 ones, and if I press a key, it will actually read the same 6 items again, and it will be all in fancy. And of course, I have to stop the code. If I make this only set 2, the program again will not work, because it will not restore everything. It will be out of data immediately. This is just a very quick, in later videos I will heavily use, or not heavily, but I will use this data set stuff, because it can make your life easy. If you just want to, you want to do the same operation on different strings, you can just use some string value that it reads from a data set, but you do your code against that string value, which is a bit easier than doing the same piece of code again and again and again and again. I think I don't have any other fancy stuff to do with this data. I think it's important to learn how these commands work first, and in a later video we will probably get back to these. For now, I would like to thank you for watching and hope to see you in the next video.